يا راغبا في كل علم نافع.
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن، ومكارم الأخلاق ندرسها معا، أدب وتربية على الإحسان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is the first lecture in this course of Islamic Education 2. And in this course, inshallah ta'ala, we'll focus on the deeds done by the heart. And to talk about the hearts, this is the foundation of all things. And oftentimes people ignore the subject when it's the foundation, when it's the principle of all goodness. And that's why this is something that we have to learn. It's not just in the subject of admonition, maw'idha, or the like of this, but rather this is ilm, this is knowledge that we need to learn. And we will see that inshallah ta'ala with the deeds that is to be done by one's heart. And the first and the most important of them and the foundation of it all is al-ikhlas, or sincerity. Within these lectures, inshallah ta'ala, we need to understand the importance of a'mal al-qulub, or the deeds done by the heart in general. And then when we go through these deeds one after the other, then we will get the understanding and learning even some of the text that is related to this. The word al-ikhlas in Arabic comes from the meaning of purifying something. Purifying something, that means something that is not purified, and a person would do something to purify it. It's not purified by default. And that's why this is an action to be done. And sincerity is the word that people would often use, or purification of one's intentions. And this is the core of one's ibadah. This is the core of one's worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the foundation of acceptance of the deeds. And it's the most important one, as one of the early generations of Islam, Abdurrahman ibn Mahdi rahimahullah, he said that it's incumbent upon anyone that would compile a book that he should start the book with the hadith of إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, deeds are by their intentions, to show the importance of it. This is the key of all the da'wah, or the calling of the messengers of Allah. And there are many verses in the Quran, a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that talks about this and the purity of one's ibadah. La ilaha illallah, the word of La ilaha illallah, which is the most important thing in this life that we live in, that reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens and the earth is for this pure kalima La ilaha illallah. It shows the sincerity of intentions, actions, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one worthy of worship. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ. They have not been commanded except to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the word mukhlisin, with their intentions purely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, turned away from shirk and associating partners with Allah. أَلَا لِلَّهِ الدِّينُ الْخَالِصِ. Indeed, the religion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is this pure religion, the tawheed, the oneness of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, this is why we start with al-ikhlas, and we should be even reminded with that with every act of worship that we do. And that's why when some of the early generations of Islam mentioned something about the difficulty of al-ikhlas, it's not difficult, because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to observe it and to establish it, that means it's in our capacity. But what they meant with that is that the constant working with one's heart to establish al-ikhlas. With every salah, with every dhikr, with every dua, with seeking knowledge, we need to exert ourselves to make sure that our intentions are purely, sincerely for the sake of Allah, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone in the hereafter. So this is the importance of it, as we heard the meaning of it linguistically. And there's a religious definition for al-ikhlas. One of the beautiful definitions of the word al-ikhlas and sincerity of one's intentions is that, as someone said, that you don't seek with your actions any witness except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People will witness your actions. People will see you making salah. People will see you coming to the masjid and so on. But you're not seeking that witness. You're not seeking their witness, but rather you're seeking the witness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because as the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said in the authentic hadith, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنظُرُ إِلَى أَجْسَامِكُمْ وَلَا إِلَى صُوَرِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ يَنظُرُ إِلَى قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your bodies, at your images, but rather He look at your hearts and your actions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees what's in our hearts. So that's something that needs to be shown to who? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because He's the only one subhanahu wa ta'ala that knows what's in the hearts. So al-ikhlas, sincerity, to be something in the heart that a person only seek the witness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with one's actions. He does not seek any recompense from anyone except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And again, this is the essence of kalimatul tawheed, la ilaha illallah, which a person would seek the oneness of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in one's ibadah, in one's obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And since every action, for it to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has to fulfill two conditions, one of which is al-ikhlas, sincerity of intentions, and the other one is following the way of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is a principle that we have to be always in that state. And the acceptance of the deed is one thing, and also the way that a person is given the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is according to one's intention. And a person will be resurrected in the day of judgment according to one's intention. And there are numerous texts, ayat of the Quran, a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that talks about these matters. And the very famous hadith that is always the beginning of every matter that is important to start with, the hadith of إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. And this authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ saying that the meaning of which that every action is by their intentions, and every person will be given according to one's intentions. As some of the ulama, they describe the first statement by saying it is impossible to think of an action that doesn't have an intention. Meaning anybody that does anything, they do it with a specific intentions. Even if the intention is to play, is to rest, that's an intention. So therefore, actions without intentions is like something that is impossible to happen. So therefore, make sure that your actions are done sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, seeking the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And since this is a foundation, this is a principle, a condition for the deeds to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means it's knowledge that we have to learn. And that's why Yahya ibn Abi Kathir rahimahullah, he said, تَعَلَّمُوا النية, learn النية, the intentions, فإنها أبلغ من العمل, because it makes you reach far more than the actions. We're limited physically. You might want to do all kinds of things, but your body might hinder you from the ability of doing so. You want to stand for long hours, to stand, for example, in the salah for the qiyamul layl, but you're not able to. Or a person is sick and he's not able to stand in the salah. But with one's intentions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in one's heart. He would get the rewards of what he intended for, and it takes him far more and ahead of what a person can do. And that's why it's a beautiful tijara, trade with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah again subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in the hearts. And that's why there's nothing that should stop the Muslim from learning first what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. And that's part of learning how to have the proper intentions of things. There are so many different things to be talking about it when it comes to al-ikhlas or sincerity. But one of the things that we need to learn is what's the outcome, what's the consequences of being upon al-ikhlas and sincerity in one's intentions. As we heard, the acceptance of the deeds. And as the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبَلُ مِنَ الْعَمَلِ إِلَّا مَا كَانَ لَهُ خَالِصًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not accept from the actions except what is sincerely done to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. وَابْتُغِيَ بِهِ وَجْهُ. And a person seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, seeking to see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. So this is such an important thing, otherwise one's life become wasted. Another thing is for a person to attain the perfect rewards and the multiplications of the rewards. Our life is very short, even compared to the nations before. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said in the authentic hadith that أعمار أمتي, the lifespan of my ummah between the 60 and the 70, and very few of them would go beyond that. So how to make the best of our lives as if we lived for thousands of years on the face of earth, because what matters at the end when everybody returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the amount of rewards that they receive. And one of the things that would multiply the rewards is one's intentions. As the Prophet ﷺ also said in the authentic hadith, إِنَّكَ لَن تُنْفِقْ نَفَقَةً تَبْتَغِي بِهَا وَجْهَ اللَّهِ إِلَّا أُجِرْتَ عَلَيْهَا. That you would not even spend anything. And nafaqa is nakira, even if it's the smallest thing, even if it's a penny, but with the condition that it's for the sake of Allah, unless you will be given the rewards for it. So why not spend without a sincere intention that it's only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And many of the statements of the early generations of Islam would give that meaning. Some of them would say maybe an action that might be small, physically easy, but with one's intentions makes it big and multiplies it in rewards. And the opposite is true. Maybe it's an action that requires lots of sacrifice, but then a person's intention would ruin it. And we know the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu about the three individuals that they did such great actions, but it wasn't for the sake of Allah. It was for the sake of fame. Someone was very generous, and someone that fought till he was martyred, and someone that recited the Quran and he had a beautiful voice and he would teach others or so, but they all did that for the sake of the human beings. To be called generous, to be called reciter, to be called a brave man, and all of that, they will get their rewards in this worldly life by the praise of people, but there's nothing for them in the hereafter. And that's why this is, as we said, to learn it. As one of the early generations of Islam, he said that I would love to have intention for every action that I do in all of my affairs, even in eating and drinking. And we have the statement of Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, but even though it's with regards to al-ihtisab, inni ahtasibu nawmati kama ahtasibu qawmati. I seek rewards from Allah when I go to sleep, the same way that I seek rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I get up. To attain actions, even if a person is not able to do it, as we heard. And there are many hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, one of which when he went for the battle of Tabuk, and some people were not able to go with the Prophet ﷺ, they had a valid excuse. The Prophet ﷺ clearly stated that they are with you, and the only thing that prevented them from coming is al-udhr, is the valid excuse. So they are with you, sharakukum fil ajr, that means they are partners with you when it comes to the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there is the beautiful hadith that classifies the human beings into 4 categories, and all of that is with regards to the wealth and one's knowledge. Someone would have knowledge and wealth, and they would act upon their knowledge. They're in the best category. The total opposite, someone that doesn't have wealth and doesn't have knowledge, and as a result of that, he would say, if I had wealth like so and so, I would do like him, meaning in sins, because of the ignorance that he has, he will have the same sin as that individual. And the other 2 categories, those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them wealth, but not knowledge, so they would spend it in sins, versus those who are given knowledge, but they don't have wealth, and they would seek, or they would say that if they would have the wealth, like those who are spending it for the sake of Allah, they would do like them. So they are like them also when it comes to matters of rewards. And the hadith is mentioned in detail, so it's important for us to learn it at the same time. One of the important things, which is if a person attains this, he attains all goodness in this life. He fulfilled the purpose of his life, which is to be saved from the hellfire. To be saved from the hellfire. If a person departs from this life and he's saved from the hellfire, this is the real attainment that a person would have as a result of this life that we live in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentioned in Surah Al-Layl, وَسَيُجَنَّبُهَا الْأَتْقَى الَّذِي يُؤْتِي مَالَهُ يَتَزَكَّى وَمَا لِأَحَدٍ عِنْدَهُ مِنْ نِعْمَةٍ تُجْزَى إِلَّا بِابْتِغَاءِ وَجْهِ رَبِّهِ الْأَعْلَى وَلَسَوْفَ يَرْضَى. And even though this was revealed with regards to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, but it applies for every Muslim that follows the same characteristics. That the hellfire will be the one that has the taqwa of Allah, the fear of Allah, will be protected from being thrown into the hellfire. The one that would give from his wealth, yatazakka, purifying himself, whether it's in the obligatory charity, zakah, or any sadaqat, any charity, and he's not doing that for seeking favor from anyone except ibtigha'a wajhi rabbih al-a'la, to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, to seek seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment. So this is the only concern, this is the only objective, and this is the sincerity of intentions. And when some people, they say, but I also want goodness in this life, you will get it. You don't have to seek it with your actions. That is ibadah, that is to be done only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of this life and the hereafter. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are sincere, holding fast to the deen of Allah. We'll continue still with the subject of al-ikhlas next time, inshallah. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا راغبا في كل علم نافع
ينمو العلم ويتقدم بتقنياته ومجالاته، ومعه نطور أدواتنا في تقديم العلم الشرعي. أكاديمية
زاد أكاديمية ينبوعها صاف ليروي غلة الظمآن، ومكارم الأخلاق ندرسها معا، أدب وتربية على الإحسان. بشرى لنا زاد أكاديمية للعلم كالأزهار في البستان.